Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode. Talking Sports with your man, Big L. I'm the myth, the man, the legend known as Big L. And welcome to Victory Monday, baby. This here, episode 4. And boy, we gonna get into these Cowboys real good, man. Hope everybody's doing well. We'll ease this music on down just a little bit. All right, there we go. And I hope everybody can hear me real well. First thing I want to say is I appreciate everybody showing love, coming by, and if you're out there watching or whatever, man, I appreciate it. Boy, let's go ahead and dig into yesterday's game. Boy, that was a game for the ages. I'm going to be honest, man. I'm going to be completely honest about it. I had the cuss words loaded. And I mean, I had them loaded, ready to explode on these Cowboys, man, because we looked like shit yesterday. I mean, we looked bad yesterday. And I was ready to explode. I was waiting for the end of the game. Because I was going to explode on them, man. But here's the thing, man. We hung in there. We kept fighting. And you know, and they did the thing, man. You know, I don't know what Atlanta was thinking, taking their foot off the gas, because they clearly took their foot off the gas. But I'm glad they did. It was ugly. It was horrible. But, you know, I'm going to take it. Got to give it up to, you know, you go through that, man, and you got 2 fake punts that failed, 3 fumbles. You know, you really gave the Falcons every opportunity to win that game yesterday. You really did. You gave them every opportunity to win that game. And for most intents and purposes, they were doing the thing. You know, Matt Ryan was on the money. Him and Ridley were eating us up. We still had trouble stopping the run. We didn't get to Matt Ryan all day. I think we got 1 sack on him, but you know, they were getting the ball out quick, and that seems to be the MO of teams. What teams are gonna try to do is get that ball out quick, because we didn't get any pressure on him, and he was eating us up. Defensively, we got to get better, man. I don't know if it's coaching or discipline. I mean, it seemed like we had, you know, last year's defensive line looked, you know, better than what we're seeing so far in these 2 games. Let's flip over to the offensive side of the ball. Of course, Dak Prescott shined yesterday. Zeke did his thing. I think he had 28 touches. Let me get some stats pulled up here. We can get on into this thing, man. Not sure how many yards Zeke had, but I'm going to definitely find out. But it was crazy, man. You know, CeeDee Lamb showed his tail again yesterday. You know, that seems to be turning out to be a great pick, CeeDee Lamb. I'm not happy with Amari Cooper. And I know he had some big catches yesterday, but for this guy to be the $100 million receiver, I'm expecting a lot more. Amari Cooper, he runs great routes. He's got speed. He can get a little separation. Got good hands. But the one thing that's missing about Amari Cooper is he doesn't have that edge to him. He doesn't have that attitude. And perfect example for me would be Dez Bryant. Dez had that edge about him. And I know a lot of Cowboy fans will say, well, Dez couldn't do this. He couldn't get open. He's just a jump ball receiver and this and that. Say what you want about Dez, but Dez played hard. He carried an edge into every game. And he went out there and did the damn thing. You know, you can't put up the numbers Dez Bryant put up in his career as a Dallas Cowboy. You can't run routes, or you just a one-dimensional jump ball receiver. That's just bullshit you hear from the media, talking heads, in my opinion. Going back, go back to 2014. Dez Bryant led the league in touchdown receptions. That was really our year, 2014, to be honest with you, in my opinion. Till we got hosed out on that Dez Bryant catch. But getting back to yesterday's game, man, things like that, getting that onside kick. Cowboy fans, my true Cowboy fans out there that see this, you'll have to admit that shit like that don't happen for us. That's something that usually happens for the other team. We don't get those breaks. Case in point, take last week. Gallup burns Ramsey, gets open. Dak hits him on the money. They call offensive pass interference. Clearly, it was not offensive pass interference. It was just two guys, receiver and defender, just jockeying. That happens on every play. But because it's the Cowboys, there's that black cat on us. It's like we cursed for something to happen. Almost to the point where, like Stephen A. says, whatever can go wrong does go wrong with us. And sometimes it feels that way. But yesterday it did not go that way. Yesterday, and let me say this, as far as onside kick with the Atlanta Falcons, you are a professional athlete, so you know the rule. You know better. You know that once that ball goes 10 yards, it's a free ball. But, if you're the receiving team, you can touch it before it goes 10 yards. What they were thinking or what their special teams coach told them, I don't know. I'll never know. But I appreciate whatever he told them because whatever he told them worked in our favor. So it is what it is, But getting back to it, man, things like that don't never happen for us. If they do, they rarely happen. You can go all the way back to the playoff game. Romo fumbles the snap when we getting ready to kick field goal to win it. After Romo then led us back down the field. After he led us down the field previously to get the lead, and then he leads us back down the field to win the game, and then that shit happens. Really? And, we can go back through history, through recent history, and shit like that just don't happen for us. We don't get those big plays. You can go back to the playoff game against Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers finds this guy just throws a Hail Mary and finds this guy. And Dak played a tremendous game that game, and it was all for naught. So, like I said, things like that just don't happen for us. But I'm certainly glad it did yesterday. Let's move on to well, not quite yet. I'm gonna wait a little bit to get into Dak Prescott. Let's get into the coaching part of this game for the Cowboys. As I'm watching, well, I didn't get to see it, but I did get to listen to it live. I had to work yesterday, but as I'm listening to this game, I'm clearly thinking, how in the hell can Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore make Jason Garrett look like a better coach than they are? Because clearly, you were sitting there, and I'm probably not the only one that was like, did they even practice this week? Because it was like everything that could go wrong was going wrong. Case in point, what I just got through talking about. And maybe it was just the football guys saying, hey, everything's going wrong for you guys. Let me give you one break. And that was the onside kick. So, but it was, oh man, it was, as I was watching this game, man, it was clearly a situation where, you go from excitement because it's, you're trying to get past that first week loss and that bad call and some bad play calling, and you didn't play well the first week, and now you're back. You're playing Atlanta, you're playing at home, you got a little crowd there. Okay, we're getting ready to turn this thing around because the hopes and the expectations for this team are there. And then they come out and they lay an egg. And then they come out and lay another egg, and the egg after egg after egg, and the shit just gets ridiculous. And after that first quarter, man, you just like, what in the hell is going on? But as I said earlier, they kept fighting, they kept clawing, they kept hanging around. And why, I don't know why Atlanta decided to take their foot off the gas. But any of my Cowboy fans out there, y'all can attest to this, that there's been plenty of times where we've been up on some teams, and under Garrett, we kind of get conservative, take our foot off the gas. These teams hang around, then here it is at the end of the game, they beat us, or we gotta do something to run out the clock, or we gotta kick a last-second field goal, or go into overtime or something. Anyway, my point is, there's been times where we take our foot off the gas, and that was during the Garrett years. Hopefully that shit's over. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Mark Holmes, who runs the Jobu Sports Report here on YouTube. I'm one of his followers, and he's actually, kind of the inspiration for me doing this on my own, stepping my foot out there as far as getting information on the Cowboys and talking sports and things of that nature. So if you have a chance, follow him, Cowboy fans. Even if you're not a Cowboy fan, man, he does great work. He's constantly giving you good content, like round the clock. So I'm not sure where he's located at, but if he's out there, man, if you're out there, brother, I appreciate what you do. Also, man, let's get back to that coaching. I don't know if it's Mike McCarthy or Kellen Moore. Partly, I want to say it's Kellen Moore because I've never been a big fan of Kellen Moore as the offensive play caller. I certainly was not a fan of him being the play caller when Mike McCarthy came. I was hoping, if we were getting rid of Garrett, that he take all his coaches with him. Chris Richard was the only one I really probably wanted to keep, but they let him go. This thing with Kellen Moore, it really has. It's kind of got that Garrett, Wade, Phillips stench to it. You know what I mean? I think all Cowboy fans, if you're a diehard Cowboy fan like myself, you can admit now that it looked like Garrett was sabotaging Wade, and soon as Wade got pushed out the door, here comes Garrett, and this was Jerry's wonder kid. This was the guy that was supposed to bring balance to the force, but instead he left us all in darkness. As I said he would when he was hired as the offensive coordinator, coaching waiting before Wade even got the job. I knew that was a mistake then. Giving Kellen Moore the keys to the Maserati, I still think is a mistake. Not saying Kellen Moore is not a good coach or he can't be a good coach. He just ain't ready, in my opinion. He's had 1 year as a quarterback coach, and then he got the offense coordinator job. Nah, I don't like that, and it really shows sometimes, even this year with the play calling, because I know Mike McCarthy's the coach, but Kellen Moore's calling some plays. He's doing his thing, so when this offense doesn't look good, he has to be held accountable just as Mike McCarthy does. That was the thing with Wade Phillips and Garrett, that the offense would look like crap, and the only person that the media and mostly Cowboy fans would hold accountable was Wade. I can remember when Wade got fired, was Wade lost the team. No, in my opinion, no. Wade had lost his quarterback that year, and we look like a team with no quarterback. And Garrett couldn't do anything. And to Garrett's credit, he had a couple good years, but it was never consistent. And so, with our current coaching, I kind of see that same thing happening. I pray that it's not. But we'll see. All right, let's move on from the coaching. Let's talk about Dak Prescott a little bit here. Dak Prescott did the damn thing yesterday. I mean, he did the damn thing yesterday. And I cannot take anything away from Dak Prescott, man. I am one of I'm probably one of Dak Prescott's biggest critics. And there are times when Dak Prescott makes me have to eat crow, which I don't mind. When he shines, that means I'm out and, we're winning. I think Dak Prescott is a good quarterback. He has a whole lot of potential to be a great quarterback. The problem with Dak Prescott is he just never had the coaching under Garrett. And so now that he has Mike McCarthy, he has better coaching. The Kellen Moore thing still is still a thorn in my side, but I do see the improvement from Dak. And I can't say we because I'm not playing, but we have to do a better job of protecting him with the offensive line. And yes, our offensive line is banged up right now. We are banged up, and we're banged up hard. And so what we got to do, man, is hopefully we get Tyron Smith back this week against Seattle. Now Not sure when Lyle Collins will be back. I hope we can get him back very, very soon. And as I posted the other day, well, yesterday or sometime, uh, it's been rumored, or I guess confirmed, that Cowboys are kicking the tires on bringing Ronald Leary back. Ronald Leary, in my opinion, never should have. We never should have let that guy hit free agency. I think once we got Lyle Collins, Lyle Collins should have been our starting right tackle from day one. But we kept, and this is the Garrett years, they kept holding on to Doug Free, which Doug Free was, he was decent, but Doug Free, during that time, our offensive line was a lot better, but Doug Free was the weak link. I feel like Lyle Collins, had you put him in right then, he would be better than what he is now. I really feel that way. I think you could have used Doug Free as a backup. Lyle Collins could have started. But what they did instead is they moved Lyle Collins to guard beside Tyron Smith. And you benched Ronald Leary. And that was a huge mistake. Because the minute Ronald Leary hit free agency, the Denver Broncos didn't hesitate to throw that money at him, which we knew that was going to happen. But we had an opportunity. I think we could have signed Ron Leary for a little bit, for a reasonable amount before he hit free agent, maybe a year, 2 years before. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. Now that he's out there and we have an opportunity to get him back, Jerry, you need to make this happen, and you need to make it happen today, right now. Ronald Leary, in my opinion, still has a lot left in the tank, and to me, the Connor Williams experience just has not worked. It just hasn't worked. And Connor Williams was given the starting job really from day one, but it hasn't worked, and he's been hurt and banged up. He had the knee surgery, but I need, I'm not getting what I need out of Connor Williams. We gotta get back to mauling people and establishing that run game, being dominant with that run game. I promise you, if we can do that, that's going to open up a whole lot of things for Dak Prescott and those receivers. That being said, we really need to go out and get Ronald Leary. I think that can only make the offensive line better. That can only help us. There's no way that can actually hurt us, in my opinion. Give me a moment. I'm going to bring this light in a little closer here. There we go. Y'all just going to have to see it on camera. But anyway, Ronald Leary is definitely a guy that we can, we can solidify some things at that guard position with. I think if you sign him now, go ahead and stop playing. Sign him now. Give him maybe 2 weeks to get acclimated with the playbook and things of that nature, which if we're still running the things we ran before with Garrett, then I don't think it should be too hard for him. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be asking for a huge amount of money. I'm pretty sure Jerry knows this guy can get the job done, and they'll pay him a good contract. But he's going to bring some size and definitely some strength to that offensive line. I guarantee you, if we have to see Aaron Donald and the Rams again, and you got Ronald Leary there, it'll be a different story. I promise you, it'll be a different story. But But getting back to Dak Prescott, man, let's get into Dak stats here, and we're gonna keep it, I'm gonna keep it moving because we got some other stuff to cover. But Dak Prescott was 34 of 47 for 450, one passing touchdown, and he had 3 rushing touchdowns. So if you had Dak Prescott on your fantasy team yesterday, kudos to you because you did the damn thing yesterday. Dak Prescott played a hell of a game considering the fact that you're playing behind and you're playing under the rest and you're trying to fight and claw and stay in the game, and it seems like everything's going wrong. You kind of saw that poise from Dak Prescott. That poise that you saw that rookie year when you didn't expect it. Here in year 5, you expect it, and you saw it. Clearly a better game than last week. Much better game than last week. But as I said earlier, I'm still not happy with Amari Cooper. I need to get more from Amari Cooper. And I need to get more attitude from Amari Cooper. I know he's got a breakout game in him. I can feel it coming. It's just a matter of when. Zeke was 22 carries, 89 yards and a touchdown. He averaged 4 yards a carry. We still need to get Zeke to where he's getting 100 or more. We still need, like I said, we can get some things worked out on that offensive line and get better. Zeke's bound for a big game. The tackles, the 2 tackles that played yesterday, don't think they did a bad job. They're not Tyron Smith, they're not Lyle Collins, but I'm not going to say they did a bad job. I'm going to say they did decent, they did okay, but the offensive line collectively, as a whole, has to get much better. And if Connor Williams is going to be the guy, then damn it, he got to step up. He got to raise his game up to a whole different level. That's just my opinion. But please, Jerry, get Ronald Leary, sign him, get it done. Let's flip over to the defensive side of the ball. Let's see. Let's go through these stats here. And getting back to the offense, man, let me talk CeeDee Lamb for a minute. 6 receptions, 106. He had 9 targets. Let's see. Amari Cooper had a 100-yard day on 6 catches. Dalton Schultz had 9 receptions, 88 yards. Gallup, 58, 2 receptions. Zeke had 6 catches, 33 yards. This receiving core of CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Michael Gallup, in my opinion, it has the potential to be the best receiving core in the league. You've got speed, you've got quickness, you've got 3 guys who got good hands. I know a lot of Cowboy fans will say Michael Gallup ain't got the best hands in the world sometimes, but we've seen Michael Gallup get behind DBs since he's been in the league, since his rookie year. And he's only gotten better, in my opinion. I think like I've said this before, I think I said it last week, I think Michael Gallup is the unsung dark horse of that receiving core, and we can't allow that guy to get to free agency. We got to keep him. I know that's going to be a stretch. Hopefully it won't. We make some moves to do something about the salary cap, but it's going to be a stretch. So let's get him taken care of. I'm pretty sure he's going to ask for some money next year or maybe the year after. Definitely don't want him holding out, but he's definitely important to us. Like I said, getting to the defensive side of the ball, man. Defense didn't really, like I said, we didn't, we the defense just ain't got there yet. In my opinion, linebackers are beat up, banged up. Even though Joe Thomas had a pretty good game, at least I thought so. But I think bringing in two people that I have in mind would help. Now, we're going to be getting back. Hopefully, we'll get Van Der Esch back, which that's going to be a while. But thinking about it, we probably ought to just go on and shelf him for the year. For some reason we've had we have bad luck when people break collarbones, so they tend to break them again. So we might ought to shelf him, but it's all gonna be how he heals and how he feels. So that's gonna be his decision. And like I said the other day, we're supposed to be getting Randy Gregory back. I think hopefully we can get him back real soon. I think he will help that defensive line. We definitely got to find a way to get a pass rush going. Secondary is, I think Diggs played better last week than he did yesterday, but yesterday he was going up against Ridley and Julio, so he probably did as much as he could do for a rookie. I'm still not satisfied with what I'm getting with the Wouzier. Wouzier had that great year a couple of years ago, and it's been downhill ever since. Jordan Lewis got turned around on a couple of passes. So that secondary needs, in my opinion, some leadership. Xavier Woods is back there. He ain't the best in the world. I mean, our secondary is not great right now. They're not consistent. They need the leadership. They need Mr. Earl Thomas back there. And they need Earl Thomas now. So, Jerry, I know you ain't going to see this, but please, somebody get this to Jerry. When you bring Ronald Leary in, you tell Ronald Leary to go pick up Earl Thomas.
Oh, I thought you were stopping me.
You tell him to go pick up Earl Thomas. And both of them come and sign, get it done. Because that's, I know a lot of Cowboy fans out there will say, well, Earl's got some issues off the field. And yeah, he does. I'll give you that. But on the field, this guy will give you everything. He will give you everything. I'm sure of it. He's going to give you everything. We just need to get Earl. It's not a situation where he's coming in to make noise and problems. I think Earl will help us in all facets. He's going to bring some leadership on the field. He's going to bring some leadership in that locker room. And we have a young team, and that defense, in my opinion, is lacking that leadership. I know Sean Lee is there. I know DeMarcus Lawrence is there. Those are the guys I would think that would be the leaders on the defensive side of the ball right now, the talking heads. Earl Thomas can only help. Earl Thomas can do nothing but help this team and help those young players. That secondary would look a totally different. You bring in Earl Thomas. Going back to the linebacker, man. Like I said, Van Der Esch is banged up, and he's going to be out for a while. I think bringing in Clay Matthews would be a good job. Well, a good pickup for us, rather. I think Clay still has a lot left in the tank. God knows when we played against him, he would, he would put that thing on us. So I really think this guy has, that the ability to come help us. He's a Mike McCarthy guy. Mike knows him. Not sure if he would be a good fit, but I think so. I think his character would be a great fit. And we know what we're going to get with him. We know we're going to get a hard playing. Thor's going to bring the hammer. Put it that way. So with that being said, man, yeah. If we can bring those three guys in, Ronald Leary, Clay Matthews, and Earl Thomas, we bring those three guys in, that can only help us. That can only help us. But anyway, to my Cowboy fans out there, like I said, it was ugly. It was downright disgusting, but enjoy it. Talk your trash because all the haters was there ready to talk all the trash to you. So have fun with it. All right, let's move on. Let's cover some other scores. And then we'll talk about tonight's game, Saints and the Raiders. So let's go over some other scores from yesterday. Now, this is a big one. Giants lose to the Bears 17-13, but the big story there is they lost Saquon Barkley for the year with the torn ACL. I want to send my prayers out to Saquon Barkley. I hate to see anybody go down with ACL like that. I think the Broncos lost Cortland Sutton. I think he also went down with ACL. There was a couple other players that went down with some injuries that are going to be gone for the year. That's just devastating considering the situation, and you're not having really the usual training camp and OTAs and mini camps and stuff like that. That was that's huge for the Giants. And I know we're gonna be playing them twice, so we basically ain't got to worry about Saquon, but we can't take the Giants lightly. Yeah, excuse me, I had to get something to drink here. All right, moving on from the Giants. Like I said, the Bears get the victory, 17-13. Chicago is 2-0. Chicago is starting 2-0. Now, that doesn't mean that Chicago is going to be, the top dogs in the division or the NFC or anything, but they're taking care of business so far, and that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, it's always about wins and losses, and that's what it's about. So, like I said, Chicago gets the victory, moves to 2-0, 17-13 over the Giants. Tom Brady gets his first victory as a Buccaneer as they beat the Panthers 31-17. I think the Panthers lost Christian McCaffrey for about 6 weeks or so with a high ankle sprain. So that's really going to put a damper on that offense. The Vikings lose to the Colts 28-11. I don't know what the hell's going on with Kirk Cousins up there, but Vikings dropped to 0-2. The 11, I don't. That sounds like almost a baseball score or something. Anyway, Vikings take the L. Colts move to 1-1. Vikings drop to 0-2. The Bills move to 2-0 with a 31-28 victory over the Dolphins. Dolphins dropped to 0-2. Detroit, the Lions, they take it on the chin hard to Mr. Aaron Rodgers, that bad man, 42-21. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers moved to 2-0, while the Lions dropped to 0-2. And Aaron Rodgers looking like he ain't lost a step. Aaron Rodgers looking like he's like, I don't need off season. He rolling. All right, yesterday and getting back, 49ers get the victory over the Jets, 31-13. 49ers moved to 1-1. Jets dropped to 0-2. I think Garoppolo went out of that game yesterday. Not sure if he came back. I haven't got any information on Garoppolo, but I'm thinking he might be gone for a while. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. And let's see, Broncos 21, Steelers 26. Broncos dropped to 0-2. Steelers moved to 2-0. And as I said, Cortland Sutherland, I think his name, the receiver, he's gone for the year for the Broncos. Steelers are kind of handling business since Big Ben is back. They really ain't been that impressive, but all you got to do is win. Of course, considering the way we won yesterday, I really can't talk about anybody else's style points. Rams moved to 2-0 with a 37-19 victory over the Eagles. Hell with the Eagles. I could care less. But I'm glad they dropped to 0-2. Rams moved to 2-0. Let's go into that game a little bit. Let me take a look, see what Mr. Carson Wentz did here. Oh, walk it to me. All right, here we go. Mr. Carson Wentz was 26 of 43 for 242 and 2 picks, no touchdowns. Not off to a great start this year. Miles Sanders, 20 carries, 95 yards and a touchdown. Looks like their leading receiver was Deshaun Jackson with 6 catches, 64 yards. Looks like it's falling down here real quick for the Eagles, but as a Cowboy fan, I gives a damn. Let it fall. As for the Rams, the team that we played last week, like I said, we got the bad luck call last week, as always. But Rams moved to 2-0. Jared Goff, 20 of 27 for 267, 3 touchdowns. So he kind of lit that secondary up. Looks like the Rams had a total of about 191 on the ground yesterday. So looks like the Rams are putting the emphasis on running the ball this year. Now maybe that Eagle defense is Swiss cheese and folks can run through it. I'm certainly hoping so. I'm hoping Zeke will have a huge day. Two huge days against the Eagles this year with those kind of numbers. But like I said, Rams get the victory 37-19. They moved to 2-0. And the Eagles dropped to 0-2. So the hell with the Eagles, let them drop. Jaguars, Titans. Titans get the victory 33-30 over the Jags. Jags dropped to 1-1. Titans moved to 2-0. I got to say I'm impressed with the Jaguars. I thought the Jags would be a team that would just get blown out every week, but they got a victory last week, and they hung into this game with the Titans. So the Jags might be a team to hang around playoff time. Don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on the Jags. All right, let's go to the Arizona Cardinals and football team. What the hell is football team? Who do they play? Wisconsin? Oh, that's the football team in Washington. All right, Arizona gets the victory, 30-15. Arizona moves to 2-0, and the football team moves to 1-1. Cowboy fans, correct me if I'm wrong, but the energy from that football team was totally different last week. It was totally different last week. They was doing a whole bunch of this right here last week, and now I can't find it. I can't find nobody from the football team to talk to me this week. The energy changed up there, didn't it? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Moving on from them, because, well, let's just say this. As far as this podcast, this video cast, from this day forward, until they get a name, we're going to consider them, we're going to just call them the Washington Clowns. We're going to give them our own nickname. So, Cardinals get the victory over the Clowns, 30-15. All right, moving on. But that energy did change, though. Can't find them now. Moving on to the Ravens and the Texans. Ravens 33, Texans 16. 16. Home of the Ravens. What? All right. Ravens moved to 2-0. Texans dropped to 0-2. As a Cowboy fan, you can't give a damn about the Texans, so let them fall too. Worst mistake they could ever do is give that receiver away. They kind of paying for it now, so hell with them. But it looks like Lamar Jackson is in that same boat with Aaron Rodgers. I don't need no off season. Let's just do it, because the Ravens seem to be picking up where they left off and getting things done. So they moved to 2-0. Texans dropped to 0-2. Chiefs and the Chargers. Chiefs 23, Chargers 20. Now, when I saw this game at one point, the Chiefs were losing. I think it was in the third quarter, but Mahomes brought them back, so they moved to 2-0. Chargers go to 1-1. From my understanding, the Chargers quarterback played pretty good, so I think you probably want to keep an eye on the Chargers, man. They originally I thought they wouldn't be nothing this year. I thought they'd be in the boat with the Jags and maybe the Bengals, but after watching some of that yesterday and hearing some things, man, I think the Chargers might be one of those sleeper teams to keep your eye on. All right, and then the Sunday night game, the Patriots and the Seahawks. Seahawks get the victory 35-30 over Cam and the Patriots. This was a pretty damn good game. Seems like both of these quarterbacks are getting hot. Let's go into this game, get some of these stats here. All right, let's go into the Patriots here first. Cam was 30 of 44 for 397, a touchdown and a pick. Cam had 47 on the ground rushing, and I think that's going to be the downfall of this team. Cam being that leading rusher, because after that you got Sonny Michel with 19 yards on 7 carries. Rex Buckhead 6 carries, 2 yards. J.J. Taylor 1 carry, negative 1 yard. They had a total of 67 on the ground. Now, that is against Seattle, but I really don't, they're going to be okay. New England's going to be a strong team. They're going to be a playoff team. But them not having, when Cam has got to be their leading rusher, and I know he's doing it mostly with the read option and scrambling and stuff like that, I think that's going to be the downfall. Moving over to Seahawks, Russell Wilson, 21 of 28, 288, 5 touchdowns and 1 pick. Russell Wilson's on fire this year. I'm just gonna tell you like that. Russell is on fire this year so far. He's on fire right now, and that's not considering we play them next week. That ain't good for us. That ain't good for us. But we're gonna talk about next week on Thursday, so you make sure you guys tune in. Yeah, Russell's on fire this year. As I watched that game last night, Russell and DK Metcalf have a connection. And that connection is only going to get better. You know, Russell and Metcalf and then Lockett, you know, that's going to be trouble for us next week. I'm going to just call it. It's going to be some trouble. We got to be watching some serious film right about now to get this stuff straight. All right, but like I said, getting out of that game, man, 35-30. Seahawks get the victory over Cam and the Patriots. And that covers all yesterday's game. So now we look at tonight's game with the Saints and the Raiders. And the Raiders will be opening that new stadium. I think it's going to be empty. And, of course, Drew Brees and the Saints looked pretty damn good last week against Tom Brady and the Bucs. But the Raiders looked pretty good last week. Raiders actually looked pretty good last week against Carolina. And I don't think they're going to be... You know, I don't think the Raiders are going to be a pushover, you know. And I know that probably changes what I said earlier, but I think the Raiders are going to be okay. I think the Raiders might be okay. John Gruden seems to have these guys going in the right direction. And so we shall see. I'm going to let you guys get ready for that game. So that's pretty much going to be me. So what I want you guys to do, man, is right there on the screen you can see. I'm going to be back at you live on this Thursday at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Going to get you ready for the Thursday night game. We're going to talk about that. Cowboy fans, we're going to talk about the Seattle game in depth. We're going to get some in-depth details. Hopefully by that time, we've signed Earl Thomas, Ronald Leary, and Clay Matthews. Jerry, get it done. But hopefully we've signed those guys and they're part of the Cowboys then. Excuse me, got my fingers crossed on that. And we're gonna get into the games of some of the other games of week 2. Week 3. So please, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in, or whether you're here live or whether you're here, you're going to watch it scrolling through or whatever. By all means, man, hit that like button, smash that like button, smash that thumbs up for me. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to do everything I can to keep bringing you more and more content. Like I said, I'm going to be here every Monday and every Thursday, 7:15 Eastern Standard Time. On Monday, we'll talk about the Monday night game. We'll talk about the previous day's game. And we're going to talk about my Cowboys in depth. And then I'll come back on Thursday. We'll get ready for the new week. We'll talk about the Thursday game. And then Cowboy fans will look ahead to our game, talk about that. So please, by all means, man, keep swinging through, checking me out live. Hopefully we can get this thing growing and get some comments in here when I'll take some live comments from you guys. But if not, you know, watch it, leave your comments, and, you know, I'll respond to them as quickly as possible I can. But I just want to say thank you guys. God bless you, and good night.